On today's episode of Montage, we head up north to beautiful Napa Valley, where we take an inside look into 4 unique establishments. We start off in the skies and yes, a hot air balloon, where you will see some spectacular views with the pilots of Up and Away Ballooning. Next, we head down the Silverado Trail to Rombauer Vineyards, where KR will show us around the winery and see his award-winning wines. After, we head over to St. Helena and get a fresh look into keeping it local at the Press Restaurant. And we finish off at the majestic mountainside of Calistoga Ranch for a breathtaking look into one of the area's best-kept secrets. All this on today's episode of Montage. When a 747 doesn't quite satisfy your dream of ascending to the clouds, Up and Away Ballooning may be your ticket to paradise. Sonoma County holds some of the West Coast's most idyllic vistas, and where better to catch a stunning view than from above.
It's mainly first timers. Once in a while we get one that's had, a flight before, and maybe it was good, maybe it was bad, just depends on their experience. But I always try and leave them with a smile on their face and a good experience. But people are usually a little nervous at first, but it's like any other fear or any other sport that's kind of out there. You just have to get over that fear and just enjoy yourself.
Up and Away Ballooning flies only the newest, roomiest, and most well-maintained balloons. Before the journey, a gigantic, beautifully colored balloon is laid out on the ground and inflated with cold air. Then the burners go to work fully inflating the balloon, and up it goes.
So typically we start out first thing in the morning. It's when the winds are coolest and calmest. We'll meet everybody, get the balloon filled up with the volume of cold air, add some heat to the balloon, and once the balloon stands up, we add some more heat and off we go.
After we get the people in and the balloon takes off, we have to chase the balloon to make sure that Dave has somebody on the ground to help him wherever it is that he may land. It's basically like chasing a storm. We look at you in the air and we follow you. We have radios and things like that so we can monitor what's going on, and we always talk with the pilot to find out what he's thinking and just being aware and being where he needs us to be.
On any given ride, the sights might include the Pacific Ocean, Napa Valley, and sometimes the San Francisco skyline.
So in Sonoma County, what's really cool about flying here is the ocean's not too far away. So once we get up 1,000, 1,500 feet, you can see out to the ocean, you can see down to the bay, out towards San Francisco and Oakland. So it's just a real cool experience here that nobody else gets,
Imagine sailing silently a few feet over a grassy creek, or suddenly spying a lush valley in the distance from 100 feet up.
So when you're up in the air, we can be anywhere from 10 feet. We were just hovering over a pond today and checking out the cool reflection, or we went up to 4,000 feet during the flight. So you can be anywhere from 10 feet to 4,000. Just depends on the day, and that's the cool thing about the job too.
Up here, it's hard not to gain a new perspective on all nature has to offer.
As he was coming down, he threw us a line, which we used to slow him down. Then we actually put our weight on the basket as he was venting air from the balloon. There's a cord in there that releases air from the top of the balloon. So he's venting air, and we ran up and put our weight on the basket, and that stopped it.
Back on the ground, Up and Away has one more treat. Every adventurer is treated to a champagne brunch following the ride. Full of local goodies, you'll raise a glass to the sky in celebration of the day's wonderful outing.
After we get the people back in the van and the balloon packed up, we head over to Kendall Jackson to have brunch in their walnut tree garden. And Mike and Patty, the owners, they make all the food fresh, and they sit here and serve us, or serve the people. And serve champagne, and have a good time.
Whether it's a romantic float in the heavens for two you seek, or a special outing with friends or family, Up and Away never fails to dazzle. For more information, check out up-away.com.
The future.
You won't admit you love me, and so how am I ever to know? You always tell me, perhaps, perhaps, perhaps.
On this pristine hilltop in California's Napa County, just a stone's throw from the small town of St. Helena and the majestic Mayakama Mountains, we find Rombauer Vineyards. After a friendly greeting and a full glass, every guest quickly finds that this wine resonates the same simple generosity as its makers.
Rombauer Vineyards is family-owned and operated. We started back in 1980 with a very small team of people, my mother, my father, my sister and I, and we had a few employees, and we all worked incredibly hard to make a great product. And over the years we've grown. We have about 50 full-time employees that allow us to make these beautiful wines every vintage. And I'd just like to say that that's an incredible thing to have people that work for you that treat it like their own business.
Adorning this stunning piece of land, originally the Rombauer family residence, the vineyard came into existence in 1981.
Our vineyards are located throughout the Napa Valley. We have some wonderful vineyards up in the Calistoga area, beautiful vineyards in the St. Helena area, the Stags Leap area, Atlas Peak, down in the Carneros region. We own about 50% of our vineyards, and then we have long-term contracts with grape growers.
Faced with entering the sometimes ostentatious world of winemaking, the vineyard's founder, Mr. Rombauer, envisioned a business with a plain goal: giving life to wines suited to any meal or occasion that could be equally enjoyed in coming years or from the instant of their creation.
You know, I think we approach this family business with a tremendous amount of passion, tremendous amount of pride, and we are programmed. The only way we know how to do it is every single vintage to try and make it better and better. We love wine, we love sharing it with our friends and all our customers, and it's so much more interesting to take a better and better wine out there. So I think we're really just so focused and centric on trying to make better and better wines every year.
Meanwhile, out in the vineyard, master winemaker Richie Allen delicately balances the sensitive scales that determine each year's harvest. An Australian transplant, Richie originally chose a very different path than wine. Once moving toward a life in molecular biology, today he successfully manages and maintains this radiant 300-acre vineyard.
I've been at Rombauer for 10 years, and how the Rombauer family differs from other wineries I've worked at around the world is they're really focused on making the best wine. Most other places in the world, you're trying to make wine to a cost per gallon or a cost per litre, whereas the Rombauers, they really are just focused on making the best wine possible. One thing that we're very focused on is from the vineyard to the bottle. So the whole winemaking process, from focusing on getting our vineyards as close to perfect as we can get to bottling and everything in between, we're really leading the industry in terms of technology and innovation to make the best wines we can.
Step into the tasting room and you're greeted with the fanciful art collected by KR on his many travels. Retire with a glass in hand to the porch or the quaint gardens featuring countless varieties of plants and flowers.
My mother just loved to garden, and so we had this running joke. She would plant things faster than we can get irrigation up and installed and running. And so eventually we all gave up and just let her continue to plant, but we hired a couple of people to help out. So we have kind of a beautiful sprawling garden going down the south side of the winery, and just lots of different plants, azaleas, rhododendrons, hydrangeas, ferns, the list goes on. But it's just very pleasant, and we're, we've always been big gardeners.
Holding true to their German roots and imparting the idea that every meal deserves a complementing wine, the Rombauers forge ahead, bringing joy of many varieties. While garnering most acclaim for their Chardonnay, their Zinfandel, Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon and Port are not to be missed.
I guess the main thing for us is really breaking the mold of Rombauer. We're very well known for Chardonnay, but the people in the know are really starting to notice our red wines, especially our Cabernet and Merlot and the Zinfandel. And we're really now, rather than just being a winery that makes one world-class wine, we're really making 4 world-class wines, and we really just want to keep focusing on that.
We just try to make sure that our wines are well balanced, they have aromas that are inviting and interesting, and that they have great flavor and texture on the palate.
With an attitude as refreshing as its wine, Rombauer Vineyards gently reminds us of the traditions surrounding the ancient beverage while leading us into its future. To see more about what Rombauer Vineyards offers, visit rombauer.com.
Well, the restaurant is called Press after Wine Press, and after all, we are in the Napa Valley. Press is located on Highway 29 in St. Helena, California, just south of downtown St. Helena. We serve nothing but Napa Valley wines. We actually have the largest collection of Napa Valley wines of any restaurant in the world. We don't sell wines from any other region, from any other part of California, any other part of the world, just the Napa Valley. So we are very much into celebrating what's local. Our wine list goes back to include Napa Valley wines all the way back to the 50s. So we have wines from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, all the way through today. In addition to that, we are into celebrating local produce. And we grow much of our own local produce on our own farm, which is on Mount Veeder, very close to the restaurant here in the Napa Valley. Chef Trevor Kunk is our chef, and he is really amazing at really cooking vegetables and showcasing local produce in a way that really allows it to share the spotlight. We're all about amazing steaks that really complement the Cabernet, and really chef doing an amazing job of using our wood grill to not only cook those steaks, but to really let the vegetables share the spotlight and to feature those and to make sure that people are aware that we're really not just a restaurant that just serves a great steak, but that we really celebrate local produce as well, and we really want people to know that they're in the Napa Valley when they're eating here, and we want them to see that on the plate. I think our dining room is absolutely beautiful, and something about our dining room is it really evokes a modern farmhouse feel. So very open, airy, a lot of exposed wood and beams, and really open windows as well. So when you're dining in the restaurant, you can actually see both sides of the valley. You can see both mountain ranges on either side. So you really do feel connected to your surroundings. You really know that you're in the Napa Valley. Additionally, we have a patio outside that has a beautiful fireplace, as well as 2 fire pits. A great place to relax outside, have a cocktail, have a bite from our bar menu, as well as proper dining seating where you can have full view of the Mayacamas Mountains, and everything else that really the feel of the vineyards that surround us. What people can expect when they come to Press is great food, amazing local food, a beautiful dining room, great local wine, and a place that they can come and relax for a while. We want to make sure that the dining experience at Press is approachable, not stuffy, somewhere where they can come, whether they be locals or whether they be visiting from out of town, a place where they can have a great meal, enjoy everything great that the Napa Valley has to offer, and not feel rushed, be able to relax and enjoy themselves. We're very proud of our wine programs. We're very proud of celebrating Napa Valley wines. And one thing that we do is on a weekly basis, we select a wine that we think is particularly interesting or unique or something that we're really proud of serving. And we feature it on our website and sort of go into detail and describe what's special about it. We also post that on social media as well. So if people are interested in really learning a little bit about our wine program and at the same time learning about Napa Valley wines, please check us out on our website or check out our Twitter or our Facebook, and it's a lot of fun.
If you are worn thin from a hectic schedule or just feeling a bit closed in, a stay at Calistoga Ranch may be just the escape valve you've been looking for. Set in a peaceful canyon in California's Upper Napa Valley, this nature-inspired retreat awaits.
Well, Calistoga Ranch is a beautiful property. It's set in a 175-acre canyon off the Napa Valley. So one of the unique aspects of Calistoga Ranch is it's a getaway within the getaway of the Napa Valley.
Check in and unwind in your unique living space that brings the outdoors in. Whether it's the outdoor rain shower or the branches meandering through your view, every feature and vista celebrates the majesty of nature.
So each of the accommodations at Calistoga Ranch are standalone lodges. They have their own decks, many of them their own hot tubs overlooking the creek. It's a very special place for a getaway.
Each lodge features warm contemporary styling with original artwork and floor-to-ceiling windows. Hold hands by a glowing fire on your private deck surrounded by swaying pines.
Well, we have lots of things to do here at Calistoga Ranch. The property, as I mentioned, is a hideaway within the Napa Valley, but the Napa Valley is also at your fingertips, whether the wineries, the restaurants, hot air ballooning. And then on property, we have some incredible facilities, including a network of hiking trails that will take you up the sides of the canyons, and at the top you're going to enjoy some spectacular views over the Napa Valley and the vineyards.
After a morning hike in the fresh outdoors, you can return for a soothing experience in the heated swimming pool. Later, treat yourself to the Auberge Spa.
The spa is located up here at the lake house, behind the lake house. We have 6 treatment rooms. It's an indoor-outdoor spa experience with soaking pools, and we have geothermal pools that utilize the mineral water that's Calistoga is famous for to provide another treatment for you when you come to the spa.
Choose one of the many treatments offered in these private soaking tubs. Sink into rejuvenating waters as you rest your gaze on the moss-covered oaks and hear the nearby creek gently moving through the forested floor. Should romance be on the menu, a special night of dining awaits at the Lake House, a private restaurant overlooking Lake Lamel. Utilising Napa's bounty of specialty food and wine, the Lake House will delight the most refined of palates. Each dish abounds with locally sourced ingredients. And like most locations at the ranch, the view doesn't disappoint.
My favorite spot on property is probably the wine cave.
From its palatial entrance to its cavernous and luxurious depths, the wine caves are truly a wonder. As its name implies, the caves house innumerable bottles and casks of wine, but the natural structure also plays host to special events.
We're so fortunate because the vineyards here at Calistoga are a very unique feature in a world-class hotel. We have 2 acres of beautiful Cabernet grapes.
One of the best winemakers in the valley, Dave Lattin from Maris Vineyards, cultivates and makes our wine, and we produce our own private label, which I have right here. It's a beautiful Cabernet, drinks very well, and we serve it exclusively here at the restaurant, and we provide that to our owners and our guests when they're here on property.
So we have a revolving sustainability program at the ranch that we really take to heart.
Bearing the responsibility of creating a green resort, Calistoga Ranch implements many strategies that ensure guests maximum comfort while minimizing waste. With landscaping designed to preserve water, energy-efficient fixtures, and EV charging stations, the ranch strives to be an ecologically friendly neighbour in the Napa community. Calistoga Ranch is keeping one eye on sustainability with its own chicken coop and garden. Simple, elegant, natural. Come get your peace of mind at Calistoga Ranch. To find your peace of mind, check out calistogaranch.aubergeresorts.com.